Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is Eagles Outlook right here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. And on Eagles Outlook, we get to talk about political and current affairs issues as they bother to the sensitivity of Nigerians, each and every one of us, that is. If you're watching via the YouTube as well as the Facebook page wall, you're doing the right thing. That would be at Eagles FM Abuja. Do well to give us a subscription, subscribe, give us a like, give us a follow, and of course, you'd be glad you did. Just before we went on that break, we brought to your eardrums the fact that we are looking at matters that concern the call of Mr. President to action on terrorism, and I brought to your eardrums as well as your visuals the fact that we are having a guest in the studio is in the person of Mr. Martins Igwe. He is a regional first vice president, West Africa Action Network on Small Arms, and that is WAANSA. Welcome aboard, Mr. Martins. Right. Well, anyways, it feels good to have you in the studio. I know that you had to shelve quite a lot to be here to have this conversation. Right. Yes. Well, awesome. Well, just recently, the president was having a conversation, at the gathering where at a high-level, African high-level meeting on counterterrorism in Abuja, where he emphasized the link between illegal mining and terrorism financing. In fact, he called on the international collaboration to dismantle the financing network of terrorism. But then he had also said that there were some pointers to the terrorism that we face, especially in Africa and Nigeria. He mentioned poverty. He mentioned poverty as one of such, and I'd like to hear from you, though. I mean, this conversation has been out there for quite some time, but from your perspective view, I mean, being the first vice president of WAANSA, okay, yeah, so yeah. And having worked with the ECOWAS Small Arms Division and all that. Okay. Right. Okay. So that being said, do you agree with the president in this regard, or are there other things that we need to look into? Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Border securities. It is easier for elephant to go to the eye of a needle than an average Nigerian. Even the National Bureau of Statistics know the data of borders in this country.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things happen there. Abuse of ECOWAS protocol of free entry and free exit, and there are most of some of these places that are unmanned, no governance, no militants and criminal elements are taking over all these areas.
Right.
I think if we can start from bringing life to some of these border communities, bringing relevant infrastructures, you understand, then you can now start discussing about forming regional alliance. Nigeria has missed billions into mineral resources. If you go to the statistics, it is not funny. Is it mining? Is it petroleum resources? Is it mineral resources?
Right.
They all find their way out of the country. And you see a situation whereby if we can coordinate, strengthen our border securities, then we can now
extend a hand to okay,
and start discussing how we can sustain regional integration and forming regional bodies. We have ECOWAS, we have African Union. We can sit under this existing already and initiate. And I want to let you know that there is a need to engage civil societies and media, into these critical issues, because when I won election, I told them that, well, when I was campaigning, I told regional actors that Advocacy against arms proliferation, yes, but you must ask your questions. What are those things that cause illegal proliferation of small arms and light weapons? When you remove those things, you have removed you have reduced the work for yourself. You understand? Okay. And border security is one of them. Youth unemployment is one of them. I have been to some parts of international borders from Jigawa to Katsina, from Katsina to Zamfara. There is a similar thing you will see. Youth unemployment. Most of them are not employable, and lack of social amenities. And where some of these hospitals, schools, there is nothing you will do in those environments that they will have more confidence in their country. Right. That is why, first of all, sensitization. First of all, strengthen the border communities. Then from there, you can now extend the hands for regional cooperation in the area of anti-terrorism, because there is no way an angry man will continue to be a hungry man, continue to be an angry man. You understand? Yeah. Somebody that is not unemployed has no life of his own. It is what the day brings.
That he goes with. Well,
in fact, you need even to start reorientation. You understand? For the person to come to his senses, there should be national reorientation programs for them to come into their senses, so that when you tell them that 2 plus 2, they understand that it is 4. There are some mental states of our youth in this country. If you tell them that 1 plus 1 is 2, they'll tell you that it is 11.
All right, I'll put a peg to your thoughts now, and let's just go pay some bills. We'll be right back in a short bit.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Are you looking to study in the UK? Then it's time to actualize your study abroad dreams with the University of Sunderland. Come meet your international delegates from the University of Sunderland and stand a chance to get an admission letter, visa counseling, scholarship options, and many more. Date, 1st May 2024. Venue, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information and reservations, contact the Regional Director for Africa, John Igwe, via WhatsApp on +44 75 22 80 8856. Again, +44 75 22 80 8856. Or you can call 0704 340 0133. Again, 0704 340 0133. Or visit our website on www.sunderland.ac.uk.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG, who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICA, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICA in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us, joining us outside the shores of Nigeria via the social media platforms where we have an audio-visual experience giving to you. This is Eagles 102.3 FM. We give you a radio experience that you can count on any time, any day. And we're still talking about Tinubu's call, the president's call to action on terrorism. And our guest, who's in the person of Mr. Martins Igwe, has made it clear that charity should begin at home. We should begin to start from our home front before we extend a hand of collaboration to the international community. But in this stance, the president is calling on the international community. It's more like the president is saying that we need help. and that because we need help, he has also identified the fact that there is the place of illegal mining as a sponsor to the terrorism activities that we have in the country. And he also said that foreign cash, is also, one of the reasons, one of the funds, one of the ways that terrorism has been funded in the country. But then, in terms of foreign cash, the central bank is working its bid. I mean, we're seeing quite a number of things going on with the central bank, even though not a lot of people are agreeing, to these reforms. But I'd like to take you, to something that happened in Zamfara State, and then we would get to talk about the place of the policing, which of course we know that military, whether the military or the police system is actually about saving the lives and property of Nigerians, while the military is doing it on the border territorial. The police is internal, right? Something happened in Zamfara State where some persons were in an attempt to be kidnapped. There was a foilage in that kidnapping, and the people who were supposedly to be kidnapped overpowered the kidnappers, even killed, is it 2 or something, and interrogated the other ones and all of that. And then it brings to our minds whether or not such issues that border around kidnapping, banditry as we know it now, can we call that a terrorist activity at the moment? Has it gotten to that point where we say this is a terrorist activity? Why am I saying this? It's coming to mind from the place of where some big political stalwarts have come out and making certain statements regarding whether or not we should have a state policing, whether or not we should merge. As yesterday we had a conversation where the IGP Igwe said the NSCDC, should be merged with the FRC, but he doesn't see the need for a state policing system in Nigeria. What is your take on all of this, though?
Well, thank you so much.
It's quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, but it is just moving around issues of state police.
Yeah.
The problem with some of our political actors is that immediately they are invited to a national television. Mm-hmm. It's either they start politics immediately, or they will start doling out half-truths and total lies, so that they will not be responsible in case they are invited, maybe for justifying their positions.
Right.
But sincerely, we must remove issues of politics and misguided selfish interest in issues concerning security in this country. I have addressed, when I visited Kaduna, I've told the journalists there that we can't afford to have a state police now, going by what is happening.
Right.
Now, there is this overbeating reason of state governors will overuse it, state governors will overuse it. But let us not discuss it.
Yes.
Let us discuss. Presently, the one we have, the present police we have, are they funded? Are they given the prerequisite training? If you ask them, they cannot answer because their survival is streamlined along those their monthly stipends. A take home that cannot take them home. Mm-hmm. You understand the point? So they will not tell you. But I can tell you because I will not be a policeman. I don't have plan to be. I wouldn't advise, even with the present conditions they are, I wouldn't advise any of my colleagues to be a policeman because one, they risk their life every day for the country to survive. They are not funded. My brother, if you go to Rwanda, you will be proud to join the police. You understand? And that is why when the Inspector General of Police came out to say, bring in civil defense, bring in road safety, let them be a national police. If you go to Rwanda, you have Nigerian police. You have a Rwandan police. Right. They're in charge of traffic. At the airport, you see them. There are departments, and that will lead to good coordination and have one channel of funding. You understand? So, just let me give you an instance. What is happening in Kogi now? When the EFCC invited the former governor.
Yeah, Bello.
Yes. If you watch the press briefing that the EFCC chairman had. He said the ex-governor told him to come to their village. And between you and I, you can understand what that means. Sure. You understand that? So you can imagine a situation whereby the former governor was in charge of the police. He wouldn't even near Koto, not to talk of entering Kogi State. Do you understand the point? And I wouldn't like us to be overblowing this matter. Even me as a person, I will put in security structures that will protect me before protecting others. So, but for you to understand this, you see that we cannot go for state police now. Let us give instance with River State. Right. Yeah, you see what is going on in River State. With the fever and the political differences there are real. You understand? And there are senior power brokers with even international connections there. You can imagine when you have a state police there. Because I don't want us to be saying now, hey, the politicians will use it in the electoral. That one is confirmed truth. You understand? But we should also, okay, you watched a former distinguished senator saying that civil defense should be scrapped. I watched him on channel television. I felt embarrassed. I was embarrassed. And you know, that was why I raised and addressed the press. I said, if we keep quiet in this matter, they will have their way. Scrap civil defense. You will know the number of Nigerians that will go jobless. You know, instead of talking about strengthening civil defense and see how you can harness the opportunities there, you said because we want state police to be, civil defense should go. So I think it is time. I may lead a national protest to the National Assembly to make sure that police, state police, do not work. Rather, they should strengthen the police we have, train them. You understand? Remove nepotism in job recruitment, especially from the police angle. Bring the right people that has the interest of Nigeria at heart, and Nigeria will be better for it. So, and fund them. Yeah, there's quite a lot that's going on, you know, with the policing system and all of that, especially when it has to do with insecurity in our dear country, Nigeria. But there was a question I pitched to you where I said, in cases of kidnapping and banditry, how do we call that now? With the way it is now in Nigeria, do we call that a terrorism act? I don't think it has reached. I don't think it has reached to terrorism. Some of these insecurities in some of these local communities are being overblown. I was in Zamfara State. Right. I visited the management of Federal University in Zamfara, and we discussed about. I was in Zamfara for almost 1 week. There are Nigerians from Zamfara State that are interested to solve these problems. And they have not been given opportunity to do that. And we are working on the ground to make sure that they are brought on board, you understand, to play their own role towards this. Some of these issues are being overblown. If you go to Zamfara, you will see poverty crawling. You understand? And there's no good rapport between the government and the governed. Despite it is this time now that the governor has come, brought in civilian securities, getting committed towards issues of security, and I can tell you that it has drastically reduced right now in Zamfara. Yes. Compared to what it used to be. What is obtainable before? You understand? And when such commitment is being demonstrated, there should be complementary effort from the federal government. There should be complementary effort from even media. You understand? When you see something, you say something. At least that's the situation. But to tell you that the issue of conflict in Zamfara is act of terrorism, I can tell you, capital no. All right. Well, we're still having that conversation. You can join the conversation right there and begin to ask your questions and state your concerns on the topical issue in discourse as we look at everything that concerns insecurity, especially looking at the president's call for collaboration or action on terrorism. Should it be a matter of charity beginning at home, or should it be a matter of solely making out that outcry to the international community and saying, hey, we need help and there's the need for collaborative efforts? Or should it be just the two of these components bringing together to ensuring that we bring an end
to the incessant, terrorism activity that's going on in our dear country, Nigeria. Number to call is 0907-353-0044. You can as well send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450, and you can as well call the WhatsApp portal number, seeing that the other number that you could call, is having a little bit of a technicality, and the WhatsApp portal number, once again, that you can call just for now is 0909-705-4450. There are some highlights, with the president's call at the moment. One of such would be the fact that the president addressed an African high-level meeting on counterterrorism in Abuja. He emphasized the role of foreign cash in fueling illegal mining and terrorism in Africa. He also called for global cooperation to combat these menaces. He stressed the need for African countries to strengthen regional cooperation and institution building to address the evolving threat of terrorism on the continent. We'll just take this call already. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. Good morning.
My name is Honorable Edward.
All right. Honorable, welcome aboard.
Yeah. As a soldier, honestly, these are the type of guests that we should be having them. I enjoy this our guest. He knows much about Nigeria. He knows what is happening in Nigeria. And one thing I like about him is he's saying the truth. You see, the problem in Nigeria, you see these people, Mr. President said, these foreigners, they are the one causing insecurity. I have said this when there was a lot of killings in Plateau State. I went there, I called my friend, to know actually, I am from North Central, to know what is actually happening. The only thing they will tell you is that it's Fulani. Yesterday, a Roman or this person, he have a fight with a Fulani boy, something like that. It's a minor thing. And this was caused by this foreigner. That was one man told me. He said, if we trade this with these foreigners who are there, he said, thank God, it was really Buhari. Now we have a president who is bold enough to come out and say the truth. In fact, the local development. In Nigeria, we have problems ourselves. In fact, these people are using using Nigeria to cause problems. This is resulting into a lot of killing. Lives are going. Because we are letting debate a little. Look at what is happening now. We were discussing in the morning about education. Look at go to Jam office, Abuja Jam office. Do you know that the message that they are supposed to do? These children have been there for, and when I went there. I don't leave the place. They have been there for more than 3 weeks. Every day they will come. Nobody attended to them. This thing is a party tomorrow. They don't forget, I can even send the video. How are we helping? We keep on talking about government. We are not helping ourselves.
All right.
People appreciate this.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, Honorable Edwards, you've made your point right there. But you can still add your voice, bring the calls in and ask your questions, and let us see how we can take ourselves out of the woods with regards to this insecurity, because it's already causing a menace. And quite a lot of us are not happy with the status quo at the moment, and that is a need for you to also join the conversation so that we can change the narrative. Number to call is 0907-353-0044 or 0909-705-4450, which is the WhatsApp portal number at the moment. You can call the WhatsApp at this time, and yes, we can have that conversation already. But then let's get on to the WhatsApp portal now, because we see some messages via the WhatsApp, all right, portal number, and we will be taking those messages very, very quickly. I'm trying my best to get on to navigate myself back. Okay, that is not working at the moment. Okay. All right, though, but let's just get on to the WhatsApp and get it from here. This one right here says, good morning, UD, good morning to you. It says this is James from Suleja. It is not enough to talk about foreigners sponsoring terrorism without talking about the insincerity of those involved in the fight against it. While pointing fingers at foreign sponsors, we are yet to admit the menace persists because there are fifth columnists with the corridors of power who allow it fester. Most of these mines are not owned or operated by foreigners. Their licenses weren't issued by foreigners. Why has the government been more focused on crude oil despite the massive gold deposits in Zamfara, Niger, Nasarawa, and a number of other states? A government that is intentional about having a robust foreign reserve should be storing its wealth in gold, but for some reason they all look the other way, while their allies and cohorts personalize the nation's commonwealth. All right, James, right there from Suleja, you've got that to say. Let's just take this call and then we'll get back to our guest. Okay, time is not on our side. Very quickly, a few seconds.
Hello, my name is Engineer George Chede.
Yes, Engineer, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja. I'm the director of program WAANSA Nigeria.
All right, very quickly, sir, for want of time, I wish you called earlier.
So, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you to the President of Nigeria, President Tinubu, for coming out openly to call for action on terrorism. My brother, terrorism have done a big worse to Nigerian development. And it is high time we follow the footsteps. I think the best way to cut off this terrorism is for we to start local.
Okay.
You can't start reaching the problem up. So the say charity begins at home.
Okay.
So what he said is the right track.
All right.
It's high time we go to our local villages.
Okay.
Understand? Start to treat the problem in grassroots.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Engineer, and thank you for adding your voice. It's been qualitative, at this time, but we cannot go any further at this point in time. But thank you so much. I mean, it's the right thing to do, the engineer said, and of course to you too, Mr. Martin Igwe, who you are Regional First Vice President, West Africa's Action Network on Small Arms. That's WAANSA. You've added your voice, and we'll be having more collaborations in the coming days. But thank you for stepping into the studio. And this is where I'd like to also say to each and every one of us, thank you for being a part of the discourse. Keep it in mind that tomorrow is yet another time. Top of the hour is Midday Extra Show. Martha will be right here in a short bit. My name is Udwak Daniel.